Hey you guys, so we are out here. I'm out here outside, and I wanted to go ahead and touch on another basic tool that's used during our creative recovery. So our creative recovery is highly important because, you know, we're on this spiritual journey and we're trying to make sure that we're able to create to the fullest capacity in which we're able. And we've already touched on the morning pages, so if you have not done that, I'm gonna need you to catch up, and I'm gonna need you to go over there, and I'm gonna need you to read that, just so that you can get all you can, and, you know, start applying morning pages as soon as possible. Because one of the things that Julia Cameron said was that the morning pages are the most important tool that we should be using during this artist recovery. So we're gonna see what it's given and, you know, move accordingly. I'm sorry, hopefully I don't be all over the place in my head. It's something about when you're outside and you're trying to read or you're trying to do a thing. Yeah, I wish I had like a tripod. If y'all seen what was going on behind here, y'all would be like, what in the world? Girl, maybe I can pause this and go somewhere else where I can actually sit the camera up and actually read the book. No, I think I'm gonna stay right here. Okay, so we're going to be touching on the artist date. The artist date is also a basic tool. And there is a contract as well. And then we will be, drumroll please, be attacking week 1 of our artist recovery. Now, this has been like a prelude. So we've talked about the sensor. We talked about the basic tools. We talked about the 10 basic principles. And I'm of course going to be still shooting you out the basic principles as well, so that you guys can know what the basic principles are. And I'm stretching it out as long as the book will allow me to stretch it out, because I really want us to be on the path to creative recovery, and I really want us to get the best and the fullest benefit out of it that we possibly can. I'm really taking this journey serious because, like, I'm over procrastinating, and I'm over, you know, not achieving what it is that I want, you know, for the sake of what I want. You know, it's you gotta discipline yourself enough to be in position, you know, so that you can get what it is that you say that you want, so that you can pick up on what you didn't have an opportunity to, because maybe you didn't realize that you were as creative as you are. And maybe this journey is what opens you up to something totally new, something totally different that you never thought you would be doing. I don't care what your creative assignment is, but we're on that journey, okay? And that's opening me up to being more intentional about every other thing in my life. So I believe that this thing can help you. I believe that these tools can help you. I believe that this journey can help you. And also, you know, I stand here as an accountability partner for you to show up, you know, because if I got to show up, oh, you got to show up. There's no ifs, no ands, no whats, no none of that. We showing up for what it is that we want, right? So without further ado, let's get into this artist date, this other basic tool, one of the 2 basic tools that we need to go on this journey to creative recovery, okay? So if you hear sounds in the background, there are voices and different things like that, because I'm outside, and that happens. You might hear some nature, some birds chirping, I don't know, some beep beep horns or something, I don't know, you might hear it. So I'm warning you now, you know, but let's get into it. Okay, so it says, the other basic tool of the artist's way may strike you as a non-tool, okay, a diversion. You may see clearly how morning pages could work, yet find find yourself highly dubious about something called an artist date. I assure you, artist dates work too. And to be honest, I actually wanted to do it now because I'm on an artist date now. And so I'm creating a video while I'm on my artist date. You know, I had an appointment today, but I was like, let me go out here and just, you know, read outside in nature and do something different. You know, I could read at home. I could read, you know, wherever. No, we're doing something different, you know, something different. Let go, let flow, okay? So, okay. Think of this combination of tools in terms of a radio receiver and transmitter. It is a two-step, two-directional process, out and in, and then in. Doing your morning pages, you are sending, notifying yourself and the universe of your dreams, dissatisfactions, hopes. During your artist date, you are receiving, opening yourself to insight, inspiration, and guidance. But what exactly is an artist date? Well, what is it? What is it? An artist date is a block of time, perhaps 2 hours weekly, especially set aside and committed to nurturing your creative consciousness. Your inner artist, that is. In its most primary form, the artist date is an excursion, a play date that you can pre-plan and defend against all interlopes. You do not take anyone on this date but you and your inner artist, aka your creative child. When was the last time you did that? That means no lovers, no friends, no spouses, no children, no taggers of any stripe, okay? No taggers of any stripes. And oftentimes, sometimes we have to have somebody to come with us to do these things. No, this is strategically and specifically for you. Because the thing about it is, when you're doing a recovery and when you're going through a process, guess what? You're going through that process alone. You may have some accountability partners, but whatever you got going on, ultimately, you have to do that work for you. Okay? If you think this sounds stupid or that you will never be able to afford the time, identify that reaction as resistance. You cannot afford not to find the time for artist dates. You can't afford not to find the time. You must make time for you. And this is, man, this is so important. I'm a mom of 6. And my time, honey, for me to set a time to reroute, reset, all that jazz is important. It's the same way as artist dates. Do you spend quality time with each other? Troubled couples are often asked by their therapists. Parents of disturbed children are asked the same thing. Well, what do you mean? Quality time is the usual Weasley response. What do you mean by quality time is the usual Weasley response? We spend a lot of time together. Yes, but is it quality time? Do you ever have any fun together? The therapist may press. Fun? Whoever heard of fun in a rotten relationship like this one? Do you go on dates just to talk? Just to listen to each other? Dates. But we are married. Too busy, too broke, too scared. The therapist may interrupt. Hey, hey, don't sugarcoat it. I'm sorry. Yeah, don't sugarcoat it. It is frightening to spend quality time with a child or lover, and our artists can be seen as to both of us. A weekly artist date is remarkably threatening and remarkably productive. A date with my artist? Yes. Your artist needs to be taken out, pampered, and listened to. There are many ways to invade this commitment, as there are days of your life. I'm too broke is the favorite one. Although no one said the date needed to involve elaborate expenses. Your artist is a child. Time with a parent matters more than money spent. A visit to a junk store, a solo trip to the beach, an old movie seen alone together, a visit to an aquarium or an art gallery. These cost time, not money. Remember, it is always time commitment. It is always the time commitment that is sacred. And looking for a parallel, think of the child of divorce who gets to see a beloved parent only on the weekends. During most of the week, your artist is in the custody of a stern workday adult. What that child wants is attention, not expensive outfittings. What that child does not want is to share the precious parent with someone like a new significant other. Spending time in solitude with your artist child is essential to self-nurturing. A long country walk, a solitary expedition to the beach for a sunrise or sunset, a sortie out to a strange church to hear gospel music, to an ethnic neighborhood to taste foreign sights and sounds. Your artist might enjoy any of these. Or your artist might like blowing. Your artist might like bowling. Commitment to yourself. Commitment to yourself. Like, I got distracted real quick. So your artist is like a child. You know, like I said, I'm a mom of 6 and I can relate to a lot of these different things. A child wants your time more than anything. And I can also relate to my child, me only seeing my child on the weekends. And it's so crazy because I'll hear her say, well, it feels like I only get 2 days with you. And it's the truth. And so it's our job to make the most of that time. And not necessarily money, but definitely quality time where she feels like she's gotten the best out of her time with mommy, okay? So commit yourself to a weekly artist date and then watch your killjoy side try to wiggle out of it. Watch how this sacred time gets easily encroached upon. Watch how the sacred time suddenly includes a third party. Learn to guard against these invasions. So guard against the invasions that may come when you're trying to make time for you and your inner child, your artist child, who you're becoming, who you're evolving as you're on this path to creative recovery. Above all, learn to listen to what your artist child has to say on and about these joint expeditions. For example, oh, I hate this serious stuff. Your artist may exclaim if you persist in talking and taking it only to grown-up places that are culturally edifying and good for it. Listen to that. It is telling you your art needs more playful inflow. A little fun can go a long way toward making your work feel more like play. We forget that the imagination at play is at the heart of, I'm sorry, my leg itching, y'all. I'm sorry. Maybe TMI. Is at the heart of good work. And increasing our capacity for good creative work is what this book is about. You are likely to find yourself avoiding your artist dates. Recognize this resistance as a fear of intimacy, self-intimacy. Often in troubled relationships, we settle into an avoidance pattern with our significant others. We don't want to hear what they are thinking because it just might hurt. So we avoid them, knowing that once they get the chance, our significant others will probably blurt out something we do not want to hear. It is possible they will want an answer we do not have and can't give them. It is equally possible we might do the same to them, and that then the two of us will stare at each other in astonishment, saying, "But I never knew you felt like that." It is probable that these self-disclosures, frightening though they are, will lead to the building of a real relationship, one in which the participants are free to be who they are and to become what they wish. This possibility is what makes the risk of self-disclosure, a true intimacy, profitable. In order to have a real relationship with our creativity, we must take the time to care and to cultivate it. Our creativity will use this time to confront us, to confide in us, to bond with us, and to plan. The morning pages acquainting us with what we think and what we think we need. We identify problem areas and concerns. We complain, enumerate, identify, isolate, fret. This is step one, analogous to prayer. In the course of the release engendered by our artist date, step 2, we begin to hear solutions. Perhaps equally important, we begin to fund the creative reserves we will draw on in our fulfillment, that we will draw on in fulfilling our artistry. Hold on, y'all. Filling the well, stocking the pond. Art is an image using system. In order to create, we draw from our inner well. This inner well perhaps equally important, we begin to fund the creative reserves we will draw on in fulfilling our artistry. Filling the well, stocking the pond. Art is an image using system. In order to create, we draw from. In order to draw from our to create, we draw from our inner well. This inner well, an artistic reservoir, is ideally like a well-stocked trout pond. We've got big fish, little fish, fat fish, skinny fish, an abundance of artistic fish to fry. As artists, we must realize that we have to maintain this artistic ecosystem. If we don't give some attention to upkeep, our well is apt to become depleted, stagnant, or blocked. Any extended period or piece of work draws heavily on our artistic well, overtapping the well like overfishing the pond. Hold on, y'all. Leaves us diminished resources. We fish in vain for the images we require. Our work dries up, and we wonder why. Just when it was going so well. The truth is that work can dry up because it is going well, because it is going so well. As artists, we must learn to be self-nourishing. We must become alert enough to consciously replenish our creative resources as we draw on them, to restock the trout pond, so to speak. I call this process filling the well. Filling the well involves the active pursuit of images to refresh our artistic reservoirs. Art is born in attention. Its midwife is detail. Art may seem to spring from pain, but perhaps that is because pain serves to focus our attention onto details. For instance, the excruciatingly beautiful curve of a lost lover's neck. Art may seem to involve broad strokes, grand schemes, great plans, but it is the attention to detail that stays with us. The singular image is what haunts us and becomes art. Even in the midst of pain, this singular image brings delight. The artist who tells you different is lying. In order to function in the language of art, we must learn to live in it comfortably. The language of art is an image symbol. It is a wordless language, even when our very art is to chase it with words. The artist's language is a sensual one, a language of felt experience. When we work at our art, we dip into the well of our experience and scoop out images. Because we do this, we need to learn how to put images back. How do we fill the well? That's a great question. How do we fill the well? We feed it images. Art is an artistic brain pursuit. The artist's brain is our image brain. Home and haven, but heaven too. Our best creative impulses. The artist's brain cannot be reached or triggered effectively by words alone. The artist's brain is the sensory brain. Sight and sound, smell and taste, and touch. These are the elements of magic, and magic is the elemental stuff of art. In filling the well, think magic, think delight, think fun. Do not play duty. Do not think duty. Do not do what you should do. Spiritual sit-ups, like reading a dull recommended crucial text. Do what intrigues you. Explore what interests you. Think mystery, not mastery. A artist draws. A mystery draws us in, leads us on, lures us. A duty may. What does a duty mean? To make you feel like, look, I really got to do this right now. I don't know if that's what it's going to say, but I know a duty be like, all right, let me get this out the way. Have you ever felt like that? I'm sure you have, because I know I have. I know I'm not the only one. Hold on. I'm running my mouth. Let me figure out where I left off. A duty may numb. That's a great word. A duty may numb us out. Turn us off. Tune us out. In filling the well, follow your sense of the mysterious, not your sense of what you should know more about it. A mystery can be very simple. If I drive this road, not my usual road, what will I see? Changing a known route throws us into the now. We become refocused on the visual world. Sights leads to insight. Sights lead to insight. So go take a look around. Do something different. Explore. Discover. That's what artist dates are about. That's what it's about. That's just what it's about. A mystery can be simpler than that. If I like this sticker, if I like this stick of incense, what will I feel? Scent is an often overlooked pathway to powerful associations and healing. The scent of Christmas at any time of year, or the scent of fresh bread or homemade soup, can nourish the hunger or the hungry artist within. Some sounds lull us. Others stimulates us. 10 minutes of listening to a great piece of music can be a very effective meditation. 5 minutes of barefoot dancing to drum music can send our artists into a play-free day refreshed. Filling the well needn't be all novelty. Cooking can fill the well. When we chop and prepare vegetables, we do so with our thoughts as well. Remember, art is an artist's brain pursuit. This brain is reached through rhythm, through rhyme, not reason. Scraping a carrot, peeling an apple. These actions are quite literally food for thought. Any regular, repetitive action primes the well. Writers have heard many woeful tales of the Bronte sisters and poor Jane Austen, forced to hide their stories under their needlework. A little experiment with their mending can cast a whole new light on these activities. Needlework, by definition regular and repetitive, both soothes and stimulates the artist within. Whole plots can be stitched up while we sew. As artists, we can very literally reap what we sow. What do I get my best ideas? No, why do I get my best ideas in the shower? That's a good question. Or in the bathroom. An exasperated Einstein is said to have remarked, brain research now tells us that this is because showering is an artistic brain activity. Showering, swimming, scrubbing, shaving, steering a car. So many. S like yes words. All of these are regular, repetitive activities that may tip us over from our logic brain into our more creative brain, artistic brain. Solutions to sticky creative problems may bubble up through the dishwater, emerge on the freeway, just as we are executing a tricky merge. Learn which of these works best for you and use it. Many artists have found it useful to keep a notepad or tape recorder next to them as they drive. Steven Spielberg claims that his very best idea have come to him as he was driving the freeways. This is no accident. Negotiating the flow of traffic, he was an artist immersed in an oncoming, ever-altering flow of images. Images triggers the artist's brain. Images fill the well. Our focused attention is critical to filling the well. We need to encounter our life experiences, not ignore them. Many of us read compulsively to screen our awareness. On a crowd interesting train, we train our attention on a newspaper, losing the sign and sound, the sounds around us. All images for the well. I'm gonna read that one more time. On a crowded, interesting train, we train our attention on a newspaper, losing the sights and sounds around us. All images for the well. So instead of looking into the newspaper, look around at everything that's going on around you and just experience the moment. Live there, rest there, reside there, play there. This is Artist Recovery 101, and we're unpacking the artist way, one step at a time. And we have not yet started the 12-week journey yet, but literally our first chapter is coming up soon. After first we do the contract. So I'm going to read the contract while I'm here as well, and I'll also post this to my social media platform so that you all can see and you can make the commitment for those who don't have the book, okay? And it says contract. I, whatever your name is, I, Danielle, understand that I am undertaking an intensive guided encounter with my own creativity. I commit myself to take the 12-week duration of the course. I, Danny, commit to weekly reading, daily morning pages, a weekly artist date, and the fulfillment of each week's task. I, Danny, further understand, or your name, further understand that this course will raise issues and emotions for me to deal with. I, Danny, commit myself to excellent self-care, adequate sleep, diet, exercise, and pampering for the duration of this course. And then you sign off on it. So I'm just going to show you, just to get a little bit closer. This is the contract. And I urge you to be true to the commitment. Be true to the journey, because like I said, I just started my artist dates up again. And I started it today because I knew that I would be reading to share with you all today. And just to be able to do that, and just to be able to experience the freedom in knowing that this is necessary. It's so necessary at all costs. And just to commit to the commitment. I've been really, really big on being consistent. I've had some inconsistencies in my life, which have caused me to have to start over on several occasions. And in my life and how I feel right now is no more. So you have to get into your spirit the no more. I'm ready. So don't fill out the contract. Don't sign the contract only unless you're really ready to do the commitment. I'm your girl, Danny Royal. This is Artistry 101. Repping the artist way, reading the artist way. Let's dive into it and unpack this creative recovery. And I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.